So it's always like that. It's always like that. Anytime you're in a relationship, I don't know if you guys are ever in a relationship with another person that speaks in
another language.
Yeah.
Well, you lived in Australia, so
I had some people. I have girlfriends from Australians. I never had American, but Italians, Argentinians, and all in Portuguese. All in English.
All in English.
Yeah.
Well, that's different. If you're living, if you're with an Italian person in Australia,
it has to be in English.
Yeah. But like with the Australian girls, you weren't speaking in Portuguese. But they didn't have any. It didn't have any interest in learning Portuguese.
Not at all.
But the thing is, when you're in a relationship with somebody that's from a different country, and you both live in one of the countries that you're from, you get caught in one language. It's really difficult to do both. I'm trying now, and it's hard. Like, I don't know, it's like physically hard for me to speak English with my wife. Cause we started in Portuguese because my whole thing is I need to learn this language to move here. And so we started all talking, and then that was us. You get caught in that. You get stuck in that. So it's a good, I knew that you were going to say that because every couple that I know out here, they're in the language trap, I call it.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it feels like. Because, like, now getting my wife to speak Portuguese is like, it's like pulling teeth. Like, that's an expression, by the way, from the English expression. It's like something that's really difficult, pulling teeth. So, you know, slowly but steady, we're trying to get into the rhythm of it, of speaking more Portuguese, because I think, and this is just my personal opinion, because I'm using a lot of different sources to learn Portuguese. Like I told you, I listen to Mano Brown's podcast. I listen to Pachpa, Fora de Terestina. I listen to...
what is that?
It's like a political podcast. I listen to Flow podcast. I listen to a lot of different like Brazilian podcasts. And most of these people are from Rio or Sao Paulo. And I'm living in Bahia.
It's a different accent.
Oh my gosh, the Baiano accent. Like, I love people from Bahia. I love everyone from Bahia. But the accent is so different. And then when you get to the interior of Bahia, like my wife is from Santo Antonio de Jesus, and it's their colloquial accent there it's so hard to grasp sometimes.
Yeah, and even for us here in Brazil.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, 2 episodes ago, the girl that came here, Vanessa, she was from Bahia. She is from Bahia. She lives in São Paulo, but she is from Bahia. But she doesn't have much accent. That's nice.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but if we get a person from São Paulo or from Rio Grande do Sul and another from Bahia or from, I don't know, Pernambuco, and we put these 2 people together and say, guys, you cannot use slangs and your own expressions. Like, only speak literally Portuguese. We get by. You understand each other very well. That's my point of view, my opinion. I'd like to know from you about the U.S. If I get a person from the South and another from the North, without the expressions, the regional expressions, are you guys able to understand?
I think in the United States, I really just think it's based, and this is in Brazil too. It's based on your level of education and how, like, how learned you are, if you will. Because I got some cousins, man, and they're from North Carolina. That's not even that South, but it's just like sometimes they say some things, and I'm just like, but they're not very like they didn't go to high school. Well, I think high school, but they didn't finish. So it's a different thing, but. I do think that Brazil has more variety of accents, and that's because you guys are more isolated from each other. Like, it takes me 6 hours to get from Sao Paulo to Rio de Janeiro, but it's really the same distance kind of as like New York to Washington, D.C., but the roads are all like this, right? So 6 hours when it doesn't really need to be. If the geography permitted you to just go in a straight line, it'll be 3
go
hours.
faster. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I thought you guys have more accents than
maybe, but I can't tell the difference. If somebody from Texas is speaking and somebody from North Carolina is speaking, me personally, I can't tell you the difference. But if somebody from Georgia or whatever, I can't tell the difference. But I do know the difference when somebody from New Orleans speaks.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that dude's from New Orleans, right?
Nolans, they call it Nolans.
From Nolans, right? They got a different thing that they do, right? It's that mixture of French in there. They say beaucoup, right?
Oh goodness.
Yeah, the beaucoup is like, merci beaucoup.
Yeah, merci. Yeah, oui.
But they say that in English, in Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Like if everyone say I got a lot of money, it's like I got beaucoup money.
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
But what he's saying happens the same in Brazil, because like if you get like a state from the north, maybe you can't difference what is like Bahia and Pernambuco, because they pretty similar, but that's the north accent.
Yeah.
But the north to the south, there is a very different accent.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Curitiba to Rio Grande do Sul, they're pretty similar.
It's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have that. Like
Yeah.
Boston and New York. I think like Boston, they'll say car, like it's a car.
Yeah.
But
Car.
in Massachusetts, it seems like they don't do the R, right? But I understand what the person's saying. He just has a little twinge that I'll say, oh, maybe you're not from Massachusetts, but you're from New England.
Mm-hmm.
You know what New England is? New England?
New England.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the northeast area of the United States. There's a bunch of states like Connecticut,
Connecticut is the first one, I think.
Massachusetts,
Rhode Island, New
Maine.
Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont. 5 states.
I'm very bad in geography.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
that's like something only Americans would pretty much know.
Yeah.
Boston is the capital of New England, basically, right? Because you have the team, the New England Patriots. You know the team, the football team, the Patriots? Well, a lot of
don't.
Brazilians wear their logo. I see the logo everywhere. Because they win a lot of championships. But they represent a big area. Like, it's only one city where the stadium is, but they didn't say the Boston Patriots. It's like the whole New England Patriots.
Oh, got it.
There's a New England accent, definitely.
Mhm.
There's a northern accent, like Bobby from Bobby's World. Oh, don't you know? Is that like Minnesota? I'm from Minnesota. Like that. It's almost like Canadian kind of
Yeah,
thing.
they
What
speak
are you-
kind of smiling.
What are you talking about?
Goodness.
They say boot, but it's about. But in
Boot.
in Canada, if you listen to Drake, you could kind of hear it a little bit. He does it a little.
He does 1,000 different accents.
That's true.
Like, but boot.
About.
But they say boot.
About.
Abu.
That's
All right.
because Canadians don't really have a different accent like that. Like they don't. The black Canadians, yeah, because they have a lot of Caribbean influences in the way they speak. But if you take a white Canadian and you take a white American from the north, they kind of talk the same.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not
Got
much difference. I can't hear a difference. I watch YouTube. Jim Carrey's Canadian.
I did not know that.
Oh,
yeah, I thought he was
I didn't know
American.
that.
I thought he was American.
He's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
You can look it up. He's Canadian. A lot of people are Canadian. You just don't know it.